So I'm at a cemetery right now, and I see a ton of butterflies. They're everywhere here. But I really like going to the cemeteries because it's just so dead quiet. Alright, this video is about being recognized as a YouTuber, and I'm a very small YouTuber, so I'm not used to it, but it does happen every now and then. Because on my other channel, Anxiety War, some of the videos have gone viral, and I don't get recognized nearly as much as I did, which is cool. But no, I don't know why I said cool. It's just, it feels kind of weird, and I haven't really gotten used to it. So it's not like you post a video on YouTube, and then you go out in public and people recognize you from that video, because you need a lot of traffic. And from what I found is, if a video hits about a couple 100,000 views, and if it's your only video, then someone out there in the real world will probably recognize you as that person in the video. From my experience, that's what it's like. So I had this video. I uploaded it a couple years ago. It's no longer on YouTube. It's called "Acting as a 13-Year-Old Boy in Real Life to Bust a Predator." And it took off. It went viral. And it achieved, I think, 2.5 million views before it was taken down. But that video experienced a tremendous amount of growth to where that people in the real world were recognizing me for the first time. That's never happened on YouTube. So the first time I was ever recognized was I was at a gas station, and a guy who was about in his early 20s, maybe late teens, he said, "Are you that dude from that YouTube video?" That's what they say. And I said, like, "Yeah." And he said, "Oh, cool, man." And then he drove away. And it was so weird to me because I thought, like, when you see numbers on a screen, you know they're real people. But until you see their faces, until they stop you in real life, it's like, wow, they're really real people. So I mean, that's interesting. It made me think of numbers a little differently. I knew the video was getting like a crazy amount of views. It was insane. By this point, it probably had about like 500,000 views. And it's weird because the video didn't go viral immediately. It took like 3 weeks, and then it just took off like a rocket. But I was with my brother at this antique mall, and he said, "You won't believe what I saw on YouTube." And I said, "What?" Because he didn't even know I had a YouTube account where I'd upload stuff. He said it was you, and I thought, like, what? It's so weird to put stuff out there and not tell anyone, and then them knowing that just naturally through me. It was on my brother's recommended videos to watch. He doesn't even watch Predator videos, but it was on like everyone's recommended. Even the people that I played video games with years ago that know my voice but not my face, like random people, like this guy in Maine said, like, "Zach, I know your voice, but I don't know your face. Is this you busting this Predator?" I said, "Yeah, that's me." And it's so interesting. And then not long after, I think like a day later, I went to the bank, and the bank teller, who I kind of avoid because I know she has a crush on me, she said, like, I saw your video. And I was standing in line, and she was dealing with some other person. I looked behind me as if she was talking to someone behind me, because I thought she wasn't talking to me, because it was just, I don't know why I did that, because clearly it was my video, but I wasn't used to being like on the spot like that, as far as like from YouTube. So I looked behind me, and there's no one behind me. And I looked at her, and I said, "Oh, my video." And she said, "Yeah, that's crazy, blah, blah, blah." And so I said, "Yeah." And then after that, I wanted to make it quick, because I knew that the police were going to send out a press release. I just had a feeling, because the video was building so much, it was gaining so much traffic, that I knew that there would be a public obligation for the police to say something about this. And so I was just waiting for that. And they sent out a press release, and I thought, crap, because then the media was all over it. So I knew it was going to be on the news, the local news here. And so I thought, you know what, I have to do all of my shopping first. Because I saw, how news stations, they hype up their stories by saying, like, new at 6, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, crap, I have to do my grocery shopping soon, before 6, because I didn't want to, like, be out right after that. Just kind of wanted to hide, just because I like being on the DL. I don't really like attention like that. But it didn't matter because the video had received so much traffic from YouTube that I went to the store, and like immediately there was like this kid, like this boy in there, probably 13, and he's like, dude, I love your video. And I said, oh, thank you. I said, I'm glad you liked it. But it was so strange, because I don't know, it's hard to explain. But I went home, and then it blew over on the news. It blew up like crazy. And I looked at the traffic of the video after it hit the news around here, and it didn't do anything to like the view count or anything like that, because people had already known. It was such a viral video. For those who don't know, the video was basically I was talking to this guy online who thought I was a 13-year-old boy. I used photos of myself when I was 12, and the plan was to meet at a park so that he could have sex with me. And I just called him out. I pretended to be the boy. I acted like a little boy, and dressed like one too. And I went inside of his car, and he, it was weird because the door, it freaked me out a little bit because I was inside of his car, and he was talking about, like, where we could have sex. The door wouldn't open. The passenger door wouldn't open, even when it was unlocked. The only way to open the passenger door is from the outside. That's it. It was like a trap to me. That's what I thought, and it scared me. So thankfully though, he unrolled the window, and I like put my arm outside and unlocked it, or opened the door, because it was so screwed up. And I tried it, I tested it, I couldn't open the door, even when it was unlocked from the inside. You couldn't possibly open that door. There's a butterfly that just went in my car, but it escaped. Anyway, so yeah, the video was definitely very interesting, and I'm actually near the park right now where it occurred. But when I was running, because I'm a runner, I run a lot. I'm not like an avid runner. I just do it for exercise, right? Clear my mind sometimes. One day after a run, I went to the gas station to get a slushie, right? Because it was a very hot day. This was 2 years ago. And the gas station clerk recognized me. And he said, like, dude, I love what you're doing. I love your videos. I love your videos so much, blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, thank you. And I gave him a 20 for the gas and then on the Slurpee. And he said, no, dude, don't worry about the Slurpee. I said, no, dude, I'm paying for this. But he made it to where, like, he already, like, paid for it in the system. He's like, no, don't worry, I already put the money on the pump, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, no, dude, no. I insisted not to take the Slurpee. And it's funny, but I had no choice but to take it. It's a sign of gratitude for doing that, in the content of the videos. And it's so funny because, like, all this time I had never monetized those videos because I knew down the line an attorney or a defendant would try to make it upon me about saying that I only did this not to protect kids, but to make money. My brother joked with me, and he said, like, what if you were on trial and they're saying that, oh, you didn't make any money doing this, you didn't monetize the YouTube videos, but you did get a free Slurpee at a gas station. I thought that would have been hilarious because that'd be like the only in-kind transfer from that. But no, that was a private matter, so no one knew about that. And then I remember I went to this flea market a couple of years ago, and I was recognized by a lot of young people there. And it was so weird because I wore glasses and I wore a hat that no one has ever seen me wear before. But people still figured out it was me, and I couldn't understand that for my life. Because you couldn't see my eyes and you couldn't see my hair. But people still knew. And I asked, like, a kid. He was like probably 18. I asked him, like, I said, how did you know it was me? And he said it was your jawline. I said, what? but I was recognized there. And, of course, we talked, and I really appreciate when people say something, because some people, they just stare. Many times people just, look from a distance, and they point, and it's kind of weird. Even recently, I was at a flea market, and there was a group of people, young people, and they were, looking at me, and then looking back, and then they kept on doing that. And, they, every time I looked over there, they would kind of look away, but it was clear that they were, I don't know, it was weird. It's I like when people say stuff, because sometimes people don't, and I don't know, what to think. I don't know if they, are family or friends of the people that I helped put in jail and wanting to hurt me, or if they're, I hate using the word fans, if they're, supporters of the channel, I hate using the word fans, because it's they're people, and I'm just a regular person. And so, it feels weird. It feels like we're on different levels if I refer to them as fans. And it's so weird to me. A day after being recognized and talking to people at the flea market, I was running downtown at night, and I went on this pedestrian bridge, and just to take a break, after running. I was running a lot. It's kind of like my destination when I'm running, is this particular bridge, just to, catch my breath for a minute or two. I saw a couple people there that I saw at the flea market a day before, and the flea market and then this bridge are 100 miles apart. No, probably not. Probably 40 miles apart. So we talked again, and as we were talking, there was a lot of people on this bridge, because people were dancing, and some other people, a group of people, were all I think they were making fun of me, but I'm not really sure, because I didn't hear some of it, because I was talking to the people that I had met before. They said, oh, look, I'm a famous YouTuber, blah, blah, blah. That's what they said, apparently, because the guy I was talking to overheard it, someone in the distance saying that, but there were so many people, and there was so much commotion, I didn't know what was going on. And he said, hey, those people are over there making fun of you. I said, I don't care. This guy approached me, and he said, hey, dude, I recognize you from your YouTube channel. And I said, oh, okay. And that was it. He didn't say anything, but he didn't leave. He just stood there. And so it really puts you on the spot. It's I don't know what to say. And so I said, okay, you like the videos, or what? Because it was just so weird. Sometimes it's like that. Other times it flows so well, but this one was different. This situation. And he said he unsubscribed. I thought, what? This was in the late spring of 2016. So let's see, there were the videos of me confronting people that was still going on. And he unsubscribed. I said, I'm curious, why did you unsubscribe? And he's like, man, it just got too weird. You posing as a little girl. He said it just got too weird, and I had to unsubscribe. And I'm like, okay. And then I thought, why are you talking to me? That's what I thought. And he wouldn't really go away. And so it was just he couldn't close, you know what I mean? He couldn't close the conversation, but it felt weird. It felt so weird and uncomfortable. And to make it less awkward, I tend to say stuff, anything, right? So I said, where are you from? And he said the city, and I said, oh, okay. And then we were talking about the city, and I was feeling him out a little bit, and he wouldn't tell me any more information. He was almost scared, to give up his location. He's like, dude, I don't care about you. He was not a predator, I don't think. But what was weird was a year later, I met this guy, that same guy, at a flea market, and he told me that he subscribed to me again. So I have no idea what to make of some of this. I have no idea. Just being recognized in public is actually kind of weird, because it's it really depends on how the people like behave. And that's kind of weird to say, but it doesn't feel like you're human. It feels like you're like just someone on YouTube. And it's like, it's so, I mean, I know that a lot of people appreciate it, and that's why they go up to you and stuff like that. But it feels vain of me, for me to be recognized, and it feels like conceited just for me to be acknowledged in the real world by a couple of videos that I have made, you know. And it's like, you can't help but to feel that way. It's just like, it's like you're the center of attention, and it's like, it's hard to deal with. It's like, it's so hard to explain too. But it's just like, I think that some people, they admire the videos so much, or they admire you so much, that it's like, I think they think that they put you on like a pedestal, when it's like, so I downplay it all the time when people recognize me. It's like, and it's true, like I tell people, like, I have no idea why people watch my videos. Being the center of attention like that, it's just different, you know. I mean, when I had a meetup, it was kind of weird because everyone that showed up was there for just meeting up, and it was like a center of attention thing. It's like, I always hated that stuff, like graduation party for high school. Like, everyone was there for me, and it felt weird. It felt so weird and vain. And like, that's why in college I never did that. I didn't even walk in the graduation ceremony in college, just because I felt that it was, I don't know at all. I just like being kind of in the background, I guess you could say. But it's so weird because, yet I'm on YouTube, right? But I guess I like having a low profile in real life. Does that make sense? Like, a private life. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, some people, they look at you and they don't really like say anything. They just stare. Before I was on YouTube, before my face was, people would stare at me, like, you know, girls in college, for instance. And like, when I would look at them, they would like quickly look away and stuff like that. But it wasn't because they recognized me. It's just because they probably thought I was cute. It's just because a couple girls have said that, like, stared at me and then said, "You're cute," like, in college. That's why I'm saying that. I'm not being vain there. But it's weird because now if someone's staring at me, I don't know if like they think something like that, or if they're just like looking at me just because, like, or if they like recognize me. Like, I don't know. And it's weird because when I'm with someone else, like when I'm with like family or like a friend or something like that, they can observe a lot more than me, because when I look at people who are staring, they quickly look away. If they're really good at staring, they're not gonna let you catch them staring. So if I'm with a friend or family, like at an antique mall, for instance, there was this blonde staring at me, and but I didn't know it until someone said, like, "Dude, Zach," like, she was staring at you like crazy, like almost as if she saw a ghost. That was how it was described. And I thought, like, what? Why? And it's weird too, because in grocery stores sometimes, like, people stare at me, and not so much anymore, which is cool. But a couple years ago, when it was really viral, I remember there was this guy that was staring at me, and he kept on staring at me. And like, every time I would pass him in the grocery store, you know, going aisle to aisle, he would just stare at me. And it was like, it was weird, because I don't know what to think. Like I said, I don't know if they're a supporter, like a friend of the channel, or an enemy. Because all of these people that I helped put in jail, they have families, they have friends, they have connections that are amongst me. And so I don't know who they are. At a grocery store, there was this guy who looked at me, another guy, but he didn't smile or nod or anything, so I didn't know what to think. And then I got home, and he had sent me a message, like over Facebook or something, that like, "Dude, I saw you at the grocery store, but I was like scared to say something. You were buying Cheez-Its." And I said, yeah, okay, that was me. I don't know, I think some people are naturally intimidated just because they've seen me on YouTube or something like that. I have no idea why, though, because it's like anyone can be on YouTube, anyone can make videos. So I don't know why there's this level of intimidation on saying something. I have no idea, like in real life. I don't know. I don't really know. But even last week at the grocery store, there was this young woman, probably about 18, with her mother there. And she looked at me, and she in my peripheral vision, I can see a lot. And she was like looking at me as I was doing whatever. And then I turned the aisle, and she like met up with me again, and she like smiled like a lot. And so I don't know like what that means anymore. I have no idea if she like recognizes me or like what. But something weird also, a couple years ago, I was on my way to the Lake Michigan, to boat alone. And so I was hauling my boat on the highway, and there was this car behind me that I noticed that went to my left to pass me, but they never actually passed me. They were just hanging out to my left, so we were like going like 70 miles an hour. And I'm like, what the heck? Because this car, I don't really like look at people when I'm driving. I'm just focused on driving. I don't, check to see who's in the vehicle or whatever. So I'm just like, why is this car like just hanging out like to my left and not passing me? So I looked, and there were these two girls in the vehicle, and one of them, the passenger, she had her phone, and she was like pointing to her phone. She was going like this. She was all smiling. They were all smiling, and she was pointing at her phone, almost as if like she wanted my number or something like that, or like something like, I have no idea. But like it makes you think like if they recognize you or something like that. It's so weird because like none of that like while driving, that's weird. But it has happened where people have said like, dude, I saw you driving at so and so. Like people message me, and it's kind of creepy because it's like yeah, you're right, because I was there at the time. But usually I don't reply to stuff like that. But people notice you, and you don't notice them because you don't know who they are, and that's kind of weird. But there are some much bigger YouTubers out there. I myself am a pretty skinny guy. There are much bigger YouTubers out there that are probably used to being recognized and dealing with that stuff. But I think, I don't know, like how can you get used to that? I think maybe I don't know, but it's all very interesting. But I like being on the DL. It's just because I think people treat you a little differently. Just because you're on YouTube, and it's like it's YouTube. It's no big deal. I don't understand why people are all. What do they get? What's the word? Like, I don't know. I just don't get why people get so ecstatic over that. Because like I said, anyone with a video camera can put videos online. When I got a second job, I was working there I knew people there recognized me. I knew my coworkers, some of them recognized me, just because they were so nice. Like, they were really, really nice to me. And there were times where I messed up at my job, especially being a new employee. A lot of, you're going to mess up. And, like, I don't know if I'm too hard on myself, but I was wondering, like, why aren't the managers, like, why aren't they yelling at me? Like, I was thinking stuff like that. Of course, I would do everything right, and I would make everything right. But, so some of the higher ups, they were, like, so super nice to me. And I was like, I thought, do they know? Like, they must have, right? Because they have my name and stuff like that. I mean, of course, I'm an employee, right? I remember one of my coworkers, like months after I got this job, we were working one day, and this was like 3 a.m. because it was a very like early job. It's like 3 to 9, like 4 to 9. It really depended on how much work we had to do. Every day was different as far as when we'd start. But one day I went to work, and my coworker's like, "Dude, no way, you're the guy." I said, like, what? Like, what are you talking about? What guy? It's like, "You're the dude with the videos all over the news." And he said that, like he knows about everything about me except for, like, my face, because this was, like, 6 months later, I think. And, it's weird because people know the story, but they don't really know, like, the face in their mind kind of fades away. But he said, like, "I can't believe it, blah, blah, blah." And he was telling, like, everyone, like, all of my coworkers, he was saying, like, "Dude, that's the guy who was on the news, who was, like, catching the predators, blah, blah, blah." And then, like, another coworker is all, like, he went up to me and he's like, "Oh, man, thank you so much for doing that, blah, blah, blah." And then there was a lot of banter going around about that. But they were coworkers, so they were like, oh, they were all cool because they're people I'm already familiar with, and they're really cool people. And I missed that job a lot, but I had to leave because programming was getting way too intense because I would work, and it was only a part-time job. It was like 5 hours a day. But I would go home and I would, like, work 8 hours at my normal programming job, self-employment. And the programming got so intense, like so difficult and so time-consuming, that I had to cut the part-time job. But anyway, it was so weird because I was recognized there by another dude there. He said, like, "Dude," and this was a re-upload. I get recognized from the videos that I re-uploaded because the re-uploaded ones get hundreds of thousands of views, if not, like, over 1 million. So there was this video, and it was a re-uploaded one. And one day I went to work, and guy's like, "Dude, I saw a video last night, and I knew I recognized that kid from somewhere, blah, blah, blah." I said, like, "Oh, what video was it?" And he said the title. And I'm like, "What?" Because it wasn't a title that I made, but the video was re-uploaded. I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "I can't believe that's you. There's a butterfly in my car. There are monarch butterflies everywhere here." But it'll find its way out. But it's just very interesting that you can put something on YouTube and not tell anyone, and you'll be recognized if it gets enough views. It's so weird. It's so insane. Like, some people, I have had people, like, approach me and say, like, "Can I get a selfie?" And the first time that happened was I was with my brother at the mall, and I'm like, "What? With me? A selfie?" I'm not Justin Bieber, but of course I didn't say that. I said, like, "Sure," because he was with his girlfriend. He's like, "That's the guy in the videos, blah, blah, blah." This was a couple of years ago. It's really cool, though, because a lot of people really appreciate it. Like, at the mall, there was this worker there. It was like, "Man, I need to shake your hand, blah, blah, blah." And that was cool. And I remember one time at the mall, I was on this escalator, and there were these two kids in front of me, like teenagers, probably like 16, 17 years old, two guys. And they just looked at me. They were in front of me. They looked behind them. They saw me. And then they, like, talked amongst each other, but they're kind of whispering. I'm like, "What the heck?" And then they, like, looked back at me, and they, like, made conversation, but it was weird because they didn't say anything. And they kept on following me, and they followed me into the bookstore, Barnes & Noble. And it was weird because they never said anything about the videos, but I knew they recognized me from the videos. But they just talked about random stuff. Like, they just said, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing well, how are you?" It's like, "Oh, good, okay, yes, we're going to follow you now." And they actually said that. And then they did. They were, like, following me. I was like, what the heck? It's like, I wanted to tell these guys to, like, F off. But I don't know, it's just sometimes it's weird. And then a few months ago, I went into USPS to ship something, and the workers there recognized me, like, a lot of them, and they said, "No way, dude, you're the dude that catches the predators, blah, blah, blah." That's what they said. And I said, they mentioned one of the guys, like, his first and last name. I thought, "Yeah, you know that guy?" And he said, "Yeah." They said that he was their boss at USPS, United States Postal Service. I thought, wow, that's crazy. And they said, yeah, man. Holy crap. The last time I was recognized was last night. I was live streaming on Instagram. And it was weird because 10 minutes after I finished the live stream, I was at the grocery store parking lot. And this van, like I was in my car still, as I parked, this van was going around me, kind of. He was like looping around me. And there was this guy in this van, and he was all smiling. And see, I like that. Like, I like it when because I don't know if they're gonna, like, get out and kill me, or if they're just happy. So if you ever want to kill me, just put a smile on your face, and that'll bring my guard down. Because I knew he was a supporter, someone that watches the videos. Just from that smile, just from his look. So it made me feel comfortable. But otherwise, if he had a mean face on him, I'd be like, holy crap. Because he circled me and parked next to me. And I got out, because I knew what was going on. And I said hello. And he said, hey, man, what's up? I like your YouTube videos of you dumpster diving on the Anxiety War channel, blah, blah, blah. And we talked for a while. And I said, did you see the Instagram, feed, the live stream? Is that how you knew where I was? And he said, no, man, I haven't. But, I don't know if that's true. But I keep it light and playful. And I told him that I have no idea why people watch my videos, because I think they're boring. And he said, no, man, we like the videos. And it's I don't understand. I told him that I just do it to kill time and to have fun, right? The YouTube thing. And he's like, no, man, they're good. It's hard for me. It's so weird because I can't explain it, but it feels kind of weird to be recognized. And when people, when you see how much they appreciate you, it feels very self-centered just to receive that information, that knowledge that people respect you for your videos. And I don't think I'll ever get used to that, just because my personality is, to be honest, very on the DL, just wanting to be in the shadows. Yet I'm on YouTube. I don't know why I'm on YouTube. Maybe just because I like making videos and that's it. But as far as talking to people, another butterfly. As far as talking to people in real life who recognize the videos, it means a lot to me. It really does when people recognize me and say how much they appreciate what I do, what I've done. That means so much to me because, I remember I was at this festival. And this girl approached me and she said, hey, thank you for doing what you did. And that meant a lot to me. It means so much when people say that. Whether it's online or, in real life, for some reason in real life, it's, I value that more than when I read the text. I don't know why. Because I know it's the same thing. But just to see faces, it's different. But I still don't understand, why people care. Oh, that sounds kind of sociopathic, right? It's hard to get used to people recognizing you. I don't know. But like I said, I'm fortunate because I can go pretty much anywhere and not be recognized. But when I am recognized, it's cool, but it's I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah. That's it for this rambling session. If you're not asleep yet, then I'll do a better job of being boring next time, so that hopefully you won't enjoy my videos so much. If you enjoy this, what is there to enjoy about this? I don't understand. It's so boring hearing myself talk. That's why I'm going to shut it down right now. Shut her down. All right, everyone. Good night.